Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Tales from the Core. As always, your host, Dirty Mike Francis, joining me per standard, the slider, Sir Neil of Pace.
Yeah, man. Don't forget. Don't forget Apocalypse Now right here. Yeah,
Yeah. Got that. He's got that fan off,
it's off.
but the fan's still making an appearance. It's still a part of the Tales.
It's also a slider of the tails.
That's right. Yeah, man. So uh, today we're bringing on Mitch Taco Bell, retired
Oh
Lieutenant
yeah,
Colonel, United States Marine Corps, who he had us on his podcast. It was a great time, and the backstory there was, again, it all started with the sliding.
yeah,
Scott Gibson, who was Taco's first guest, and then he can correct me if I'm wrong, but also like his 100th episode, he was on there as well. And he put us in touch. He's like, "Hey man, you guys should get together." And I mean, dude, I love Taco's podcast, man. Like he's always getting
yeah,
like, some like high level cool dudes, like some CIA guys, dudes that write books and stuff. And
yeah, man.
he brings more of the intellect to it, the officer side. We're just like,
Yeah,
we're like, oh, barracks parties, and,
that's
and
it.
Taco's like, oh, you wrote this book and did all these amazing things.
You clean pizza. You got the ones who popped on coke to clean your barracks rooms when you weren't there. That's
Right.
what we
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. He brings like the intellect. Like even this morning, at 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior, the officer is asking for the link. And
Yeah,
I'm like, chill, sir. Let the
yeah,
grunts. Like we're still in the smoking pit. All right. We'll be there. We'll get
yeah,
there.
man.
So, but with that said, man, let's bring on Taco. A lot of people know him. We've been good friends for a while now. And it's almost a year since we hooked up the first time. So we'll bring Taco on to
Yeah.
join us and talk some good trash.
Oh
Good
shit.
morning, Vietnam! How about you, man? Ready to roll? And we got a snow day. Now we got all the snow gone except for on the lawns. How are you boys doing?
I think that's the first time my dick ever got hard doing this podcast, man. Jesus.
Hey, that's what my wife says. She can put up with me till about noon, and then
Yeah.
afternoon, can't do anything after that. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny. How
Yeah.
you boys
Yeah.
doing? Good.
Good, man. Good. Yeah. It's actually I woke up to I stayed the night. I spent the night over my sister and my brother-in-law's last night just to, hang out with them for a little bit. And I woke up to get ready to come back home, man. I step out and it's all cloudy and overcast and it's like 37 degrees. What is it? Where am I at? Like what is this thing? Florida, man. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be like this at
And I
all.
saw it's killing all the iguanas, so maybe that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
God.
got a bunch of just iguanas just frozen,
Yeah.
just falling out of the trees.
Yeah, it dropped down to 21. It went from 60s, right, all the way up to middle of the week, Wednesday. It was in the 60s every day. Uh, Thursday, Friday dropped down to 21. Maybe it was Tuesday. It ended. We did 21. Yeah. So it was like Monday or Tuesday, 60s went away. Then we were 21, 21, 21. And then we got all the freezing ice and snow and
You're around
shut down
Dallas.
DFW. Oh yeah, Dallas.
Right.
Yeah,
Man, it's like a dusting up in Nova, Northern Virginia, but these guys treat it like the apocalypse.
yeah.
I mean,
The
it
apocalypse.
is. Yeah, yeah. They think the world's ended. There's just little stuff. We took the Hummer out and we were doing donuts around in a parking
Oh,
lot.
I love
Oh,
those damn Vicks, man.
it was
Oh, I love
fun.
those Vicks.
Just
I
a
saw,
Hummer,
yeah,
baby.
you had videos posted. You guys were out there,
The-
screwing around. Like, dude, it's so funny. Like,
It was just having fun, like two Lance
yeah,
Corporals. Yeah.
yep.
those.
Yeah.
Stealing the Hummer from the from Motor T and going out and let's see how this thing drives in the snow and a little ice. Yeah, man, it handles great. I had to learn to do the brake thing, acceleration brake thing, and then get it into all-wheel drive, and off you go.
I actually have like a quick little story. That was funny about that Lance Corporal stealing Humvees. So in 2003, we had, I want to say it was Hurricane Isabel. That was my first ever hurricane I went through. So Lejeune was shut down, and I'd met these two guys who were Motor T. I'd met them in Myrtle Beach, and they're cool dudes, they're partiers,
Mhm.
and they hit me up and they're like, "Hey man, we're stealing this Humvee and taking it out." And and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, man. Like, I don't think I'm just gonna stay here and do the barracks parties. Like, you guys go ahead, right?" Like, but yeah, stealing Humvees and driving around during a fucking hurricane.
And did they get caught?
I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
Nice.
Yeah. Everybody was hunkered down, so nobody was out there catching anybody. I guess MPs were probably just shacked up, hanging out inside, not out doing much. So
Well, they must not have hooked up the little. So my son, we got a Hummer, and he that was his Hummer to work on and paint and fix up. And one day we're out there, we're like, "You got to do the alternate starting method, Jake." And he's like, "What?" I go, "You got to pull start to get this thing warmed up." It's the little chain that comes out underneath the right, not chain, but it's a cable like you lock a bike up, and it goes
yeah,
around the steering wheel so you can't steal it. So
yeah.
he's sitting there pulling on it, and we're like, "Yeah, man, you got to do that." I think about all the shit that we did over the years to fuck with people and mess with people. Excuse my French. Um, I mean, starting off back in, God, like in flight school, when you had to take a piss in the airplane, the first thing you did, you had a little tube, right, with a trigger on it. And so when you're flying the airplane, you push the trigger and you pee into this cup. It's a little cup comes up. So you undo your flight suit and all your gear, whip your Johnson out, and you take a leak. And when you hit the trigger, it'll suck out of the airplane. The Venturi effect will
Hmm.
pull the liquid out. So you're sitting there doing that, and the new guys would be so excited to be around an airplane, right? They hadn't even flown an airplane yet, so they haven't done the pre-flight, and they've read about it in a book. But you take them out to the flight line, and if he was a Navy guy, you go, okay, now see that little thing down there? Yeah, you need to blow on that to make sure the check valve is closed so that the boots don't inflate. That one-way check valve. And so you get a Navy guy down there blowing on the piss relief tube. All the Marines got a good laugh out of that. So Navy guys would probably not take advice from a Marine down in flight school. Trying to think some of the
Or
other dumb stuff.
ever, like
Or
ever,
ever.
or ever for that.
Uh,
Yeah, don't ever take advice from a Marine on
God,
anything.
man, I tell you, those things save your life, right? You always had to do a pre-flight because some dickhead would take his chew and stick it in the tube. So if
Hmm.
you started pissing in it, if it would overflow, right? So you
Oh,
would kind of bang it, make sure there was nothing in there to obstruct the entrance of the relief tube. And I was in Roswell, New Mexico. We were doing all our FAMs, forms, and PAs out there with the squadron from Corpus because the weather is dog shit, fog in Corpus, and it's beautiful sunshine, 363 a year in Roswell, hanging out with UFOs. Um,
yeah.
so I'm scheduled to go fly what they call a formation check ride with the biggest dick. He was a Marine, the biggest dick in the squadron. And this guy, I think his call sign was Lumpy, but he literally carried. I wish I had one of my sticks with me. He carried a dowel rod, and what he would do is he would stick it through because the T-34. I sat in front as a student, and he was back behind me. And there's a tube, like a tunnel in between the two of us with the canopies. And he would take that dowel rod and whack you on the head, whack, hit your helmet if you made mistakes. So you were constantly getting beat over the head with this stick. So I'm like, oh, man, I do not want to go fly with this guy. I'm all nervous and I'm drinking coffee and everyone's coming up and slapping me on the back. Hey, man, sorry, I heard you got your check ride with Lumpy. I'm like, yeah, thanks a lot. And then all of a sudden, the FDO called me up and called my name. And I went up there, and the FDO says, "Hey, Taco, Captain, whatever his name was, Lumpy, has to do some board. So now you're going to be flying with Lieutenant Beth. I won't say her name. Let's just say Lieutenant Smithers, and you're doing your check ride with her." Well, she, no kidding, she was beautiful and just filled out a flight suit really well. And all the guys always talked about, would you pee in front of the lieutenant if you had to fly with her? And they're like, hell no, and they're holding it in for a 2-hour flight. But I had maybe 4 cups of coffee by this time because of the nerves and whatnot. So when they tell me that, I go run out and I go to the briefing room. I do the brief with her and everything's good with that. I run out to the airplane, go pre-flight. Well, about that time, I've kind of got to pee. And I thought I can hold it. And she comes out and she gets strapped in. I get strapped in and we take off. And now I really am starting to have to go to pee. And now we're doing breakup and rendezvous, and it felt like needles in my bladder pushing on me. And I'm like, God, I have really got to pee. So finally, I'm like, screw it, man. There's the first time. I go, ma'am, yes, Taco. I need you to take controls. And she goes, for what? Because I'm supposed to fly the whole thing. And all we were doing at the time, we're doing what they call breakup and rendezvous. We'd already done mine, and the other airplane would pull up next to you, get into position, and then he would flip away, do a 180, and then you're coming up on another airplane at 200 some miles an hour, and then you've got to precisely put it right into position. So we're doing these breakup rendezvous. Now it's his turn. He's doing it. And I said, ma'am, I need you to take the controls. And he goes, she's like, all right, what's going on? I said, I really have to pee. And she goes, oh, okay. So I have to undo my SV2, whatever the thing's got not my parachute, my life preserver and all the survival stuff. I get that done, like I'm unbuckled out of the airplane as well. Undo my flight suit, zip that up, pull my little tiny Johnson because I've got these beautiful eyes sitting there. It was actually, she had a smoke visor on, but I know she's got these blue eyes underneath that smoke visor. And I've got 2 mirrors right up here in the corners of my cockpit. And as I'm sitting here with my smoke visor on, so she can't see where my eyes are looking, I'm looking at her, looking right at the back of my helmet. And I think she's looking at the back of my helmet. So I've got stage fright.
Yep.
And I'm like, come on, boy. And finally, I'm like, come on. And it's been a couple minutes, and she goes, are you done yet, Taco? And I go, I hate to say this, man, but I've got stage fright, and nothing's coming out. And I mean, over the ICS, she goes, just think of warm running water.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, she said it just like that.
And
And all of
what's
a
that
sudden,
shit
I'm like,
called?
wow,
Is it
and it's coming, man.
Yeah.
And you have to meter it, right? Shut it off, hit the trigger so it doesn't overfill in your hands. And I'm doing this, and I'm doing it. Well, as we're doing this, the other guy, Navy guy, has got a suit in front, and he's pulling up next to us. Well, you can imagine out of that Venturi is a plume of white smoke as the pee vaporizes, right?
Yeah.
So he pulls up, he comes around, and he comes up and he goes, hey, Beth, this is our second breakup, and I see white smoke coming out from underneath your airplane. Is everything okay? And she goes, Taco, are you still pissing? I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she gets on the radio and she goes, hey, why don't you get up under there and tell me where that smoke's coming from? This could be serious. And so he's all excited because he thinks there's an emergency, like we're losing oil or something, burning oil up. And he gets up underneath the airplane and realizes where the vapor's coming from. And he pulls up right next to us, and because he had taken control of the airplane, pulls up next to us, and he goes, fuck you. I think him, fuck you. And pulls off, breaks off, and she goes, Taco, that was good. That was really good. And I'm like, I'm almost done. Hold on a second. I literally must have pissed like 48 ounces of stuff. And I tuck everything up, get everything zipped up, do my stuff, go back and land. And I got extra above that day for my endurance pissing on a Navy guy. That was really funny. And then, of course, everybody was coming up going, dude, I can't believe you actually pissed in front of her. I'm like, yeah, she was great. I mean,
She was great.
Stage fright. I said, she was great about it, yeah, because you're kind of nervous about that. And I said, no, she was great. I actually had a little stage fright. She got on there and she goes, just think of warm running water. And,
And that's
years
the day
later,
that That's the day that her nickname got changed to the director. So.
Well, I'm telling you, man,
The
I was at a
director.
concert years later, and you wait in line, you get in there, and I'm standing there, I'm trying to pee, and I'm like, God, nothing. And all of a sudden, I just closed my eyes, and I thought of Beth going, just think of warm running water, and that was it, man.
We got to find her and get this podcast to her.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
it's interesting because I feel like in the grunts, it would have been who can pull their dick out in front of her first, right? That would have been, it's like just the contrast between the wing and like us nasty fucks.
Well, that's why you have office hours more than we would, Come on.
Who did it first? Yeah.
The first person that plants their flag there. But that's where that's probably where that ASMR was invented. So someone got a hold of that recording and was like, God, look what she was able to do through that.
Oh my God. Yeah, everybody was ready to go take a piss in front of her after that, kind of broken the ice.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, like, when I think about it, and I don't know, maybe just where the lack of civilization that's instilled upon us in the grunts is, I mean, if you're here, I mean, you're seeing it, like you might even feel it later. Who knows? But like you're seeing it. There's no whole. We're just some nasty sons of bitches, man. Like dirty.
Well,
dirty assholes.
I don't think civilians understand Marines or military in general, and how you could look at somebody. Maybe they got, something happened, and all of a sudden they just come out with a quip that is so dark. It's humorous, but it's very dark. And people look at us like we're psychos. We say something like that, and yet, to us, it's just hanging with the guys and some of the dark humor that you have.
Well, and I think the things that we experience, I was telling somebody that we experience such extreme things that you can't simply say like, man, it's hot out here. And I remember one of my buddies was like, man, it's hotter than a freshly fucked fox in a forest fire. And it's just like you have to come up with these extreme things to explain what these extreme conditions truly are like.
Oh yeah, my buddy got hired by the CIA back in college. He spoke fluent Cantonese, or not Cantonese, Mandarin, 3 dialects. And so he gets this letter, CIA, he goes off to interview, comes back, and he goes, oh, no, man, I didn't get it. It was a horrible interview. And a week later, he goes, hey, guys, guess what? I just got hired by Hiltigun, and I'm going to sell Hiltiguns to the Chinese. And I look at him, I'm like, dude, I work concrete construction. Do you know what a Hiltigun is? It's a gun. I go, no. It's a thing that it's a 22 blank, and you shoot nails into concrete to put boards down on concrete. And he's like, oh, well, I got to go to a class to learn about it. I'm thinking, good cover, right? Well, he's dead now, so I can say all this. But what happened was I went to visit him in Hong Kong in '94 for Christmas. I was stationed in Okinawa, flew down to Hong Kong, went out to his little place where all the expats hang out called Llama Island, which is cool as hell. And we're out there with a bunch of Brits and Americans, and we have Christmas. Well, he's telling this story that he's in some village in China that they've never seen a white man, especially a white man that speaks fluent Mandarin, right? And he says to the head mayor of the city or whatever, they're in the nicest restaurant, mind you. Where's the bathroom? And the guy's like, oh, go out of the front of the restaurant and hang a left, go back behind. It's right back behind there. So he goes back there. Now it's freezing cold. It's November time frame, snow, cold, that type thing. So it's kind of in between the snow where it's, patches of snow stuff. There's some mud, muck, and whatnot. And he goes back there, and it's like a slit trench with a overhang. So it was a really nice bathroom. It had an overhang, so you're protected from the rain or the snow. And then it had these boards going across over the slit trench. So you drop your trowel and you just press the back of your calves against this thing, do your business, and leave. So Steve drops his trowel and he's leaning up there, and all the steam starts coming up. And he thought, wow, man, I'm really cutting some rope. And about that time, out of the muck, the head of a big giant hog raises his head and licks right up the crack of his ass with his tongue.
God.
And it freaked him out. He
Yeah.
launched forward into the muck, all covered in crap. And he's just like, Jesus, he gets up and his pants are pulled down. He's looking back like, what the hell just happened? He gets his little flashlight
Let's
out.
do it again.
And there's this pig down there, right? And so he tries to clean himself up as best he can. He's got in his bag, he's got one of those, the hand wipes and stuff. And he goes back in, he excuses himself and says, "Hey, listen, I need to go back to my room. I've fell and tripped and did all this stuff." And the Chinese, knowing that he probably discovered the pig. And so I tell this story.
AKA the toilet paper. Like that's
The toilet paper.
yeah.
And I tell the story, and his big thing was, man, I'm glad it wasn't daylight, because if he gone up there and saw those apples hanging there, that might have been delicious find for him. So I tell my friends, and my buddy's wife hears this story. And so later, fast forward, we're in Taipei, Taiwan, and we're eating dog at some restaurant, and she refuses. And so we're sitting around the hotel later, and she goes, out of the blue, she just goes, I think I'd rather let a pig lick the crack of my ass than be here in Taiwan. We're like, yeah, Mary, way to go. You're a Marine wife. You really are, man. So that became the standard for the rest of our time in Okinawa. Would you rather let a pig lick the crack of your ass or be at this particular place? So that kind of became the standard. I talked
that's
too much, sorry.
That's a whole new level of hogging right there, boys.
Yeah.
But like a civilian would never understand that.
No.
Like,
Surely somebody would have had to ask, especially a Marine. Did you moan when you got your ass wiped?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you come? Like,
yeah, you moaned, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I was telling this story. I did like a 2024 recap, and one of my gunnies got on, and I saw his comment. It was George, and I'm like, George, I got a great story about you. Can I tell it? Can I tell it? And he's like, which one? And I'm like, the gay story.
The gay? Which one?
It was the gay story, but what it was we're flying across the Atlantic. So imagine I've got a captain sitting in the left seat. I'm a first lieutenant. We got the gunny. I'm a senior first lieutenant, and we got the gunny, who's the flight engineer. So he's the old crusty guy. And then we've got a warrant officer, navigator, and a corporal as a loadmaster. And we're flying across, and all he can do is talk about, it was Rock Hudson time frame. He had just come out that he had AIDS. So he's like, I bet, we all thought that guy was the stud. I bet this guy's gay. I bet that guy's gay. I bet this actor's gay. I bet they're all gay. And so he was talking about that the whole way. And then he would get kind of quiet and go back to his penthouse. And then he would start talking about somebody else. And finally, we hit the coast, and the guy I'm flying with turns around and says, you know what, Gunny, how do we know you're not gay? And he clicks his ICS. He goes, what'd you say to me, sir? How do we know you're not gay and you're saying all this stuff to cover up the fact that you're actually homosexual?
Yeah.
And
Valid.
he stands up, and now George is a big dude. I mean, he's easily 6'1", 6'2", and right, at the max weight, but a lot of muscle, max weight type guy. And he stands up and bows up, and I thought, oh shit. All I'm thinking about is these guys start fighting in the cockpit. First of all, he's going to beat the living crap out of him. And second of all, how do I protect the throttles and the yoke and all that? He bows up and he goes, well, shit, sir, I know I'm not gay. And he goes, how do you know you're not gay? And he goes, because I sucked an officer's dick once and I didn't like it, but he sure did. And finally, the navigator, who's a warrant officer, goes, enough. George, shut the fuck up. And now we're all laughing. And you say that to somebody, they're going to get offended, But Marines, we're all like, that was Marine talk. It was funny.
Yeah. It's just the norm.
So I've just ruined your podcast, boys. It's going to get bleeped.
Well, hey, listen, I mean, Zuck came out and said, like, the censoring's over and the fact check's over. And, so it's interesting. I've seen some shit, man. Like, I saw a straight up full blown vagina today I got a screenshot of it as an ad on Facebook. So I mean,
Whoa.
I think anything goes now.
Oh
I think
man,
it's just full game on.
Interesting.
damn.
I still don't trust that commie bastard.
Yeah.
Zuck is a commie bastard, and I'll say it
Yeah.
on there. He is a commie bastard. You watch him; he will backstab you in a heartbeat and put you in Facebook jail for a year over a post that you made it 2 years ago. I hate that. I get this thing that says your post did not meet community standards, has been removed. And I'm like, well, at least show me what the hell it was.
Yeah, they won't show it to you. Like, if you want me to learn, I need to know what I can't post. Dude, I had my account deleted in 2020. Like, the entire account deleted. Is insane. And like, I don't post bad shit. Like, I see stuff out there way worse. Like, people are talking about like threatening each other, and I'm gonna come, you know, like butt fuck your mom's soul, like these just crazy things. Like, I ain't saying that. I ain't dumb. Like, look at this meme, it's funny. Like, you know, and then like my account gets deleted and completely deactivated. Like, it was crazy, man. Crazy.
Oh, yeah, those Nazis are bad.
Yeah.
Free speech for some, not for others.
I never understood that, man. I remember it was a couple. I haven't seen anything, you know, pop up like that, community standards violations or whatever, in, you know, a few years. But there was a couple of times where I did it, and they kept hitting me with them. I was like, dude, what? And they were all from like 2015, 14, 13. I'm like, oh, I'm glad you're. I don't know. You said you
just
couldn't
now
see them.
Yeah,
I could see it. I would click on it or whatever, and it pulled up the meme or the picture or whatever it was. I'm like, oh, that was pretty fucking funny. I'm glad you showed me this again. I forgot about this one. You know, save it or whatever if I can. Screenshot it.
God. Yeah, I had a guy on. He has a radio program. Oh my God, having a mind. It'll come to me. So he has a radio program that airs every Friday on Apple Podcasts and AM radios all around the world. Reed Lance Rosenthal. So I had him on, and we're talking about COVID, and we're talking about the origins of COVID. And he's like, yeah, it came from this place in China at the friggin' Wuhan lab, viral lab. It leaked. It had to have. There's no way. So he's talking about all, and man, I had that show got pulled down in probably an hour and a half after it aired, and they gave me a strike on YouTube. And I'm like,
oh wow.
That's why I don't monetize any of. I mean, I've got 40,000 hours of view time. You know, 3,000 people is nothing compared to all these people I see on YouTube that have 350,000, and all they're doing is talking about Tim Kennedy and the fight with the whole special ops community. But I'm like, you know, if people want to watch my show uninterrupted without commercials, they're going to get that, because I hate YouTube. I don't monetize any of my crap. I make enough money as a pilot. I don't need it. And then you don't have to fast forward. So if you enjoy a show without it, go to Tall Tales with Taco Bell and check it out, because screw you, YouTube.
Well, and we did the same thing. You go check out Tales on Spotify and Apple. They're like, I'm always getting, hey, you have this new ad offer. You get this new ad offer. I would rather my listeners, well, I mean, if you're going to support something, support my app. Go download the Shaker app, right? Like, go support and go subscribe and listen to Taco. Like, I'd rather us share our stuff. There it is.
Where's my Christmas present? Come on, boys.
But I'd rather support like my guys and my stuff. Like, I don't even shout out my own stuff, because like, that's not what people, they're here for the stories, the listening.
Yeah.
And I've never accepted an ad. I've never monetized the podcast. Like, I actually made a really strong push to get to that level of monetization so I could say I did it, and I'm denying it. Like, I wanted to get there so I could say, fuck your money. You know, like, that's not what I'm doing this for.
We're doing the creation with what we want. And that's what I love Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan at Spotify basically told them to pound sand. And he puts on who he wants, and he talks about what he wants. And he's such an intelligent guy. I like.
There's a lot of people out there they're obsessed with the Joe Rogan podcast. Man, they'll sit out like in their shed or something, and
that's what I do.
Just hours
working on Hummers, and I've got podcasts playing in the background. because
Yeah.
that is how you get you get an opinion, or you get some information, or you get a view that maybe you haven't seen before. So I like the way long format programs work. So I really do appreciate it. And you guys, I have a neighbor's kid that I've known since, I mean, this boy was just literally 2 years old. He's going to OCS in the wintertime, Quantico. He just left Friday. So I shared your podcast talking about Lieutenant Colonel Perry, and what was the guy's name that you had on there?
Yeah, Strong, Chuck Strong,
Strong,
Charles Strong. Yeah.
awesome dude. So I love that, and I sent that to him, and I said, listen, I need you to listen to this before you go to OCS, because first of all, this this kind of stuff is what a good officer does. You need to emulate this guy. You need to be him. You need to put him on the pedestal and shoot to look at, to be like that guy. And for me as a young officer, my mentor was a guy named James Missioner, James A. Missioner, and he wrote no books at all. The real guy, James A. Missioner, was adopted into the family up in Pennsylvania. And what happened was they were both over in the war. Missioner was in the Navy, and the other missioner was a Marine and landed on Iwo Jima and all that stuff. Well, he gave me with the old breed, signed by E.B. Sledge, because they corresponded back and forth. And so I have the correspondence from E.B. Sledge in the book, and I have the book with this big long thing to Missioner. And Missioner gave it to me. He said, there's an officer in that book named Captain Haldane. You need to read this book, and you need to take the words of wisdom that EB wrote, Sledgehammer wrote, and epitomize that, right? So to the best that I could as an officer, I know I've let people down before, and I've done stupid stuff, and I wasn't the officer that I really wish I was sometimes. But I had a great time leading Marines when I had that opportunity, and hopefully I did a good job. But that book was kind of a guideline of, look at this officer and how much he was revered by his men, because he took care of his men. And that's the bottom line. Take care of your men, and they'll take care of you, you know?
It's
That was a
interesting.
good
Like,
show, guys.
one of the things, the fundamentals of Marine Corps leadership, right, is mission accomplishment, then troop welfare. And, my approach, like becoming section leader, was always like the troop welfare. If you put the troop welfare first, then you're just going to accomplish the mission that much better. And I feel like the Marine Corps always kind of had those backwards. Like, I get that mission accomplishment has to be number one. Like, that's why we exist. We don't exist to be there and be friends and hold people's hands. But you can still understand, that mission accomplishment is paramount, and still flip and focus, put a hard focus on the troop welfare, so that the mission accomplishment comes even better.
Yeah.
And I feel like we had that with Captain, now Colonel Pitchford, and then the Marine, because
wait a minute. What's his first name?
Damn it, Richard Pitchford. He's currently over in Germany right now. He'll be back here, I think, like next year or something.
Okay.
But the Marine that, when you and I were talking on the phone, that Strong referred to, when he didn't say like go eat, he said, have you eaten?
Yeah.
Like, I remember you brought that exact line up to me when we were talking on the phone last week. And so that Marine he's Colonel Select. We were texting last night. I forgot to ask him if he got penned yet, but he was our platoon commander, and then became, he's Colonel Select now. He's out with the 1st MEF out in San Diego. Colonel Carey, Tom Carey, like, just an incredible guy, incredible leader. I'll get to see him in February. We're doing this reunion for the Marines that went to Afghanistan in 2004. And that was him. So, like, when you're talking about be a leader like that, Carey was, especially kind of getting more involved into the Pacific and talking to guys like Bruce and Scott, Dale even, and learning more about Andy and the Marine that Andy was. You start to really see those traits in guys like Tom and Rich Pitchford, that those guys, they it's it's almost this incredible act that they perform of they're never your friend.
Mhm.
And I think maybe you and I discussed this, but they knew how to be friendly.
Mhm.
Like there was a time to be friendly, and you knew they weren't your friend. They knew that they were your leader. You never mixed, their role and your role. But they could be friendly, they could be caring, and just some people mastered that. And I feel like Pitchford and Carey, the one that Strong was referring to, like
Yeah.
they absolutely mastered that.
Yeah, there's also a difference between the air wing and the ground side. I think in our spear, we work so closely with senior enlisted guys. They almost mentor us a lot, and then we're taking care of them, mentoring as well, the younger guys. But I noticed a distinct between the officers on the ground side. It's a different deal. Like the first lieutenants and second lieutenants. Second lieutenant will call first lieutenant sir or something weird, and I'm like, in the air side, there's no, rank among lieutenants is like virginity in the whorehouse. Um, there is no difference. So it's just kind of funny what I saw as an air wing, air side. We're more laid back, I guess. But the first time that I was offered to be in charge of anything was I had to do a FAP tour with MWSS 274, and I was the Air Ops OIC at Cherry Point. So I had this big giant warehouse with 70 Marines, and we had the HERS and Taftis Communications, EOD, weather guys, MPs. They all fell under us. So that was kind of cool. And it's the first time to be a no shit Marine officer. So what did I do? I've been there a week, and on Friday, I had everybody fall out at like 1,500 for PT. What a dick. So we're gonna go run, right? And I got everybody out there. They're all grumbling, can't believe this skipper's making us go run on Friday at 1,500. And I said, all right, everybody, form up. All right, staff sergeant, lead them out. So we go, and we run about a half mile down the road towards the woods. And as soon as you hit the woods, you would hang a right, and that would take you to the married officers' quarters, officer club, and all that. We hang a right into the woods, and my warrant officer was in there with my pickup truck, and he had a keg of beer that I bought, and had already poured all these beers out on the picnic table. So we come running around, and everyone's like, "What the hell?" I said, "Everyone, get a beer." And so everyone got a beer, and I stood up on the back of the pickup truck, and I said, "All right, here's the deal. I'm going to give you guys my vision, what I want, what I'm asking from you, what I expect from you, and you're going to get my ultimate support. So here's the deal, and I told them about my policy for drinking and driving. If you're going down to the beach, how Marines do, and they go down to the beach, drive down there, and you get drunk, you're going to have one duty driver, and that duty driver is going to bring you home safe. You're not going to be in jail that on Monday morning, I got to go get your happy butts out of jail. So you're going to do that. Now, if that duty driver fails, you're going to start through the list and we're handing out all the phone numbers. You're going to start with the sergeant, and then you're going to hit the staff sergeant, then you're going to get the gunny, then you're going to get the warrant officer, and then you're going to get me. And I will stop what I'm doing in Newbern, North Carolina, and drive an hour and 15 minutes to the beach to pick you up. You'll be in the back of my pickup truck. It's got a cab, though, and I'm going to drive you back. But I guarantee you're going to pay for it. Now, I'm not going to punish you or anything like that in JP. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make you clean my personal airplane, and you're going to clean all the grease off of it. After you clean all the grease and everything under the belly, then we'll go fly. But it'll be fun. So don't test me, though. All right, you work your way up. But you get to me, I'm the final straw. You will have somebody who will answer the phone. There were no, it was answer machines and no bag phones back then, really. So I did that, and every Friday I gave what we called the sock man brief, and I would give that brief about don't do this, don't do that, and if you fail, do this. But I go, if you guys make it back to Cherry Point and you go to the Awful House there in the main drag, and you meet a couple scuzzy girls from Cherry Point. Make sure you cover your monkey. All right.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to go to the doc to get the 2 big shots in the hip. And if you're the lone guy that doesn't get stuck with rotten socks there, just go back to the queue, BQ, take your sock off, get it wet, throw it in the microwave, nuke it for 15 seconds, beat off. The worst thing you'll come out is athlete stick.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to joke about that, right? So they called me Sock Man, Captain Sock Man Blue. And they would laugh, the guys, all 70 Marines. Of course, we had females that would join the unit, and there wasn't the political correctness back then as there is now. Hell, I get turned in for half the shit I said. But IG, I'm sure. But I tell you what, Monday morning, I would go up to headquarters at 274. Air Ops, nothing to report, sir. Colonel would look at me and he'd make a little note. Motor T. Well, sir, 3 of my guys got arrested for fighting down at Camp Lejeune, and they were at the bar, and blah, blah, blah. And they, 2 guys got a DUI. And so finally, the Motor T officer, after about a month and a half of this, he goes, what the hell are you doing different than me? Because I know you got the same proportion of knuckleheads that I do. So how are your guys not getting in trouble? What are you doing differently? And I said, I'm just telling them if they got a drink, they have a duty driver. That's it. And he's like, that's it? I'm like, that's it. But, it became just a thing. And one of my Marines, he was a Lance Corporal, and I'll say his name, Chris McCowan. He's a Georgia GBI agent. So Chris comes up to me one day, and he is my hardest working Marine. This kid's sharp. He's from Georgia, sharp as hell. And he comes up to me and, hey, sir, can we speak? I'm like, yeah, sure. What's up? He goes, sir, I lied on my enlistment. I'm like, what? You're homosexual? What? And he's like, oh, no, sir. No. Because, that was a big thing back then. Are you a homosexual, or have you ever had a homosexual experience? Yes or no, So I'm like, well, what's the deal? And he goes, sir, I actually have ADHD, and I need the meds to make sure that I don't drive a forklift into somebody and kill somebody. And I lied about it on my enlistment. And I'm like, no, McCowan, you're my sharpest guy out there, and you haven't been on meds. And all of a sudden this changed this last week, right? So what's her name? He's like, sir? I go, what is her name? So there's no her. And I'm like, all right, look, let me tell you this. If we go through with this, right, through the steps, you are literally going to get kicked out of the Marine Corps with maybe a general discharge other than honorable. Who knows? General discharge, honorable discharge under general conditions, or maybe they could be a dick and go dishonorable discharge. Who knows? But that will trace you for the rest of your life. Are you sure you want to do this? And oh my God, I got to back up. What set this off was I got a phone call from a doctor at the base hospital. He went into 6th call, saw the doctor, told him that. So now it's in the medical stuff, right? And that's when I said, hey, we need to speak. But he came into the office, and that's when we had that talk. And that's when he broke down. He said, yes, sir, this girl's trying to get out of the Marine Corps. I figured this is the best way. I can go back to University of Georgia, be with her and all that. I'm like, McCowan, you idiot. You're going to throw away everything in your life for a girl. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to do this. You're going to go back to Georgia, and you're going to break up with this girl. And for the rest of your life, you'll always look back and go, I shouldn't have done that. I said, don't do it. She will ditch you in a New York minute. Don't do it. You will screw up. And then I called, I finally got him to say, all right, sir, I really screwed this up. Can we stop the process? And I said, let's see what happens. So I called the doctor up and I said, hey, doc, he was a lieutenant, so we're the same rank. And I'm like, look, here's the deal. He's the greatest kid I have. It was all about a girl trying to get out of the Marine Corps, and this is what he thought he could do to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make this go away? And he goes, he's that good? I said, he's that good. Make it go away. And he goes, it's in my trash can. I said, thank you, doc. I appreciate it. So McCowan stayed in. He achieved the rank of corporal, did a couple MEU floats, got out, became a police officer, and now he's a GBI agent with the state of Georgia. And he was a young 19-year-old kid that had he made that mistake back then, it would have affected him for the rest of his life. And when I got married, the only person I could trust, McCowan, and I flew him out to Texas because I had a Porsche. I had a Porsche at the time, and I said, "Look, McCowan, I've got a lot of buddies that I have destroyed their weddings over the years. Help me on the bottom of the shoes, just destroyed the cars, die in the shower heads. I mean, I've done some horrible things, okay, in the name of being single and watching my married buddies go. So you've got to protect me, and I know you got my six. You're going to get bribed, and you're going to get offered a lot of things, but I'm counting on you." And sure enough, man, I mean, we're talking, I've got some buddies with some money, and they're like, "Dude, I'll give you $1,000. You tell me where he's hiding his car," because my car was not at the house. And, they tortured McCowan, but McCowan just smiled and go, "Nope, that's my skipper." And I got his back. So for me, that was the highest compliment of being an officer I could ever have, was Chris McCowan. And we're still friends to this day. I went down and did their guest of honor at the Marine Corps birthday 2 years ago, I think. But love that kid. Love his kid. Is what is he? 40-some years old now. So great relationships. The Marine Corps builds them. I'm sure they have that in the Army as well, and Navy, but probably not as much as they do in the Corps. I think I'm talking too much.
No, that's a great segue though. Talking about the Marine Corps ball.
Oh my God! All right.
Yeah, I mean we've gone 46 minutes. We haven't even touched on that yet. And
okay,
what's interesting is obviously last year, like we can count. We can usually count sometimes, Neil. That it was 249.
Right, 249. Yeah.
And so what comes after 249, right? 250. And I remember I was even on a cruise ship, and I met this Marine, and they were telling me about Norwegian like these guys are renting out the entire ship to be on ship for the 250 ball.
wow.
And so like, obviously it was in the head that this was the year, but I didn't even think about until talking with you the other day, whenever you were out doing a hike, walking around, and we started talking about the 250 challenge. So that was one of the we've got what you and I decided we've got it's 11 months.
11
from today.
months. Yeah. So here's the challenge, Marines. I have to admit, I got off the wagon and I got super fat, 270 pounds, 275.11, right? So my max weight in the Marine Corps was 197. 270, so fat you can't bend over to tie your shoes. You got to put your foot up on the bathtub to tie your shoes, right? That's embarrassing, but I let it happen because I would drink 2 fingers of vodka or rum or whatever at night just to catch a little buzz before I went to bed. I ate everything my wife made, who is an awesome cook. I'm not blaming her, but she makes really good stuff, and I had no self-control. And I wasn't exercising. I was maybe doing 2,000 steps a day. Now, very sedentary job I'm in as a pilot, flying around in an aircraft, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours in the seat. So I decided December 15th, when my kids came home from college, I was going to just cold turkey stop drinking. Now, it's not like I'm an alcoholic. I'm going to AA or anything. I just choose not to drink. And New Year's Eve, I had a glass of wine with my wife. It was fine. The 30th, I think the 29th was the Armed Forces Bowl. And that's what started it. We had a park far, far away and then walk. And I ended up getting in 6 miles that day. And I thought, that actually felt really good. I miss those days.
Yeah.
So every day since then, I put in 3.5. Now it's January 11th. I've gone from 270 to the scales this morning, 253. Now here's what I'm doing. I'm eating at, 11ish and 4:30 to 5. I do that window, and that's it. That's all I eat. And I eat meat. I'm doing the protein. So I enjoy steaks, so I'm cooking steaks, hamburgers. I've got the thinly sliced meat like you would have at a Korean barbecue,
Right.
and then cut that up and just throw it in with some eggs and cook that. And my stomach shrunk. I don't get hungry at night, except the other night my daughter offered me a slice of custard pie they made. I'm like, I've got to excuse myself. I'm going to go to the bedroom, and I'm tired. I'm going to bed and get away from the smell.
Like
Well,
a fucking cup of Jello or something, you know? Like
I would love it, but you know what? I'm sticking to the intermittent fasting. I'm not going to do it. And I've almost lost 20 pounds in 11 days. Is that unhealthy? No, I'm beating the pavement every day. You know, these guys that are taking the drugs, I thought about it. I know a pilot that did it, but he had diarrhea. The side effects was diarrhea. You know, I'm like, the thought of me sitting in the locked cockpit and having to call the flight attendant up and say,
Mhm.
dude,
hey, emergency call, drop what you're doing, block the alley. I got to get out and go to the bathroom. I'm not going to put up with that. So I'm not doing
and we
idiot.
hate when you guys do that, by the way.
Well,
For
hey, you know what?
passengers,
We got to do what we got to do, baby.
they need to start building you guys like your own, you know? Like just build
Dude, we need a relief
A
tube
shitter
under the
seat?
seat.
Yeah.
shitter seat
Yeah. Like what the
in
fuck?
the shape of a shitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
especially
no.
the pilots that like come out and they're standing there and they're talking. Like, bro, go back into your little office. Like, I gotta piss here. Fucking go.
You know how cramped it is? You
God,
go in the
dude.
back. Go in the back. But no, I've just decided that my goal is 200 pounds because 200, 210 was always a good weight for me, and I can still fit into my dress blues.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do. I did a 270 photo in the gym with my outstanding trainer Paul Acosta. Now, see, I started working out with Paul a year ago, but I never lost weight because I never changed my diet or increased the cardiovascular. And now I've got a picture of me doing the old, you know, sitting there in shorts, and that's it. Embarrassing as it is, side, front, at 270. I'm going to do one here in a week for 250. Then I'm going to do one at 230, one at 210, and then the last one's going to be me in my dress blues, standing in the same position. He's a Marine. He was my recruiter. So outstanding dude, still in great shape. And Paul is up here. He has a gym built in his garage. I pay him more than the normal person pays. I enjoy having a semi recruiter slash DI yelling at me and getting me motivated. Yeah, it's good Marine Corps style. But
Yeah.
I've increased the strength. I just haven't lost the weight. So now I'm losing the weight and increasing the strength. Dude, I'm going to be rock hard. Be back
Oh
be
yeah.
back to the body shape I was back when I was in my 30s, you
Well,
know?
that's the thing that we've talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
previously is like when you post it, when you make it public, you make it real. So I, for everyone that's wanted to do this, or I mean, even if you don't want to do it, I think you should. Like we kind of owe it to ourselves
Yeah.
to be back. I mean, I'm gonna fucking shave. Like I'm not gonna shave until November. I got like 11 more months of enjoying this. But I remember somebody was asking me because I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. Like this, like I don't even know why I didn't think of this. Like go. So when I was in, all right, 03 deployed during the Marine Corps ball. 04 deployed during the Marine Corps ball. 05 deployed during the Marine Corps ball. 06 took a cocktail waitress from a strip club. So like at least though I was a corporal, so I had the blood stripe, like so like I looked good, and I had my
Yeah.
fat stack going on and everything. That's pretty cool. But then also I don't own a single medal. It's like, you rate them and then you're not presented them. Like there's, so I'm like, okay, getting back in shape, going to be in the alphas. I've never done
Right.
alphas. I've only done the bravos. Going to do alphas, going to get all of my medals for
What
the
about your dress
250.
blues? Why not your dress blues?
Well, dress blue bravo or alpha, dress blue alpha
Oh,
with the medals.
yeah, I thought you were talking about the green uniform. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm being super technical right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, they don't just meritoriously promote anybody, right? So I gotta flex that knowledge a little bit still, right? I even got the Lieutenant Presley O'Banion, what's up, sword going on. But yeah, and then I'm gonna shave. Like I'm gonna fucking shave, man. Somebody's like, you're gonna shave. I'm like, I gotta shave. I have to shave. Like,
Gotta do it.
yeah, gotta do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about you, Neil? You got any weight you have to lose, or you can
No,
still
that
pick
dude,
the
have you
blues?
seen this fucking guy, man? Like,
Uh,
he's carrying tree trunks around out of his fucking shoulders. Like, he ain't gonna fit in his blues.
we got to
Man,
get a new set.
the funny thing is that would be the first time I ever wore blues, because I've
Yeah.
never gotten them. I never got them. I always had
Really?
always the pickle suit, man. Yeah,
Pickle Rick.
always the pickles, man. Yeah, piss
Well,
covering all.
you know what? So part of me, you know that place we went to last year for the ball.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have 2 SF Special Forces Hummers that'll be complete, and we're gonna put. I just bought a 50 caliber semi-automatic Maudus that's going up in the turret, and my buddy's buying one as well. So we're gonna have 2 50 cals. We've got BFAs for the 50s, so we could shoot blanks.
Just
We could
drive
drive him down
around.
there. That guy,
Somebody's texting on their phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're
Fuck
gonna have.
around.
Yeah, so I'm working with the owner of that bar that we went to get those Hummers right out in the front. You know, so you to get into the bar, you had to walk in between them, and I think that would be great um, eye candy for the ball. Now it's like, do I wear dress blues? Half the time, you never know what the temperature is going to be like in Texas. In November, it could be 80 degrees at night, and you're going to come out. You put a couple eggs in there, and they come out hard boiled. So maybe we have a picture of all of us in our blues earlier, and then we
Yeah.
switch back over to the comfy, because I like the relaxed, comfortable. We're all hanging out, having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I think we got to do that.
so you don't own blues then, right? Then
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh,
No, I
Neil.
don't.
So
I mean, I
the
could
good
always.
thing.
I could probably go. I could go find a place around here, get tailored and everything. It's just big military area, so
Well, I mean, that's kind of the good thing because like your blues definitely. I mean, with like how much you work out and everything, they wouldn't fit anyways. Like
nah,
you,
it's yeah.
yeah. So
You would almost have to go back up to. Do you have an ID to get on the base at all, or any access onto the base?
we could
Yeah,
get on.
I can get on.
Okay, so then go back to a uniform shop. You close to where are you close to? What?
Yeah, it'd be it's a naval air station. Naval air station. It's I mean everything you need. It reminds me so much of Camp Lejeune, like right outside the gate. You got all like what Saigon Sam's. You got all the alteration places and
Yeah.
all haircuts, tattoos, all that. I could just go right down that way and just take my pick, man. Just
Which
go in,
years?
look.
Pensacola.
Pensacola,
Pensacola. Right,
NAS,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, go get a set of blues and have them tailored to fit you, because you want to look sharp and you already look good. So physically, man, get a good set. You'll look
Yeah,
bitchin'.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, this is it, man. Like 250 ain't coming around. Like
No,
something like this
no.
ain't coming around again. Like
No,
Yeah,
for another 250 years.
gonna do it. I gotta do it.
Yep.
dude, I've experienced Marine Corps birthday for 50 years now. I grew up on Little Creek Amphibious Base, and I can remember as a kid, 10-year-old kid, and all the Marines hooting and hollering about 200 years old, bitches.
No shit. No shit.
Old
Wow.
Vietnam vets, we go by the obstacle course and we go run it when the Marines left. And then we dig in the sand looking for all the crap that fell out of their pockets, change or whatnot. And hey, can we hold your M16? And the guy's looking around. Yeah, Sarge ain't around. Here you go, kid. And we're like, wow, it
Yeah.
is. That was awesome, awesome time. So 50 years, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. 250. Like that's gonna be
250.
a hell of a time. So that's it, man. That's it, boys. That's the
That's the
challenge.
challenge. That's the challenge. Now, like Neil and I were talking, you don't have to go on the wagon and not drink at all, but just know that any drinking you do is going to set you back because of the sugar intake. It's not really the calories or anything like that. It's the sugar. Like if you had a couple shots of rum, the sugar in that is just incredible. It just turns to fat. So
Mhm.
if you want to accelerate your weight loss, do the intermittent fasting, like my buddy told me. I'm like, okay, and then do the protein diet for about a month, then get back into keto and just bring back vegetables and salads, have a salad with your steak or whatever, pork chop or fish or whatever you eat. But I'm living proof right now of going from 270 to 253 this AM. And next time we talk, going to be 230 in the next probably a month and a half.
Yeah.
So
and
it'll feel good.
And for anybody that is getting out there and maybe thinking about doing the intermittent fasting, I think a lot of people think that the biggest misconception is, oh, well, fasting doesn't count if you're asleep. No, it counts when you're asleep. So if you get 8 to 10 hours of sleep, you're knocking out half or over half of your intermittent fasting tape or window if you want to do like 16 hours or so.
Yeah.
Or 20 hours. You sleep 10 hours, that's half of it right there. You only have to be awake for half of that time.
And I think the big thing, the biggest thing, like I've said, man, is just make it public. Commit to it. Like, put it, as stupid as it is, like put it on Facebook, say this is what I'm doing, because it's one thing to fail silently. And like Neil and I've talked about this as far as being sober. You know, I'll be 17 months sober on the 1st of February. And I mean, it's on cruise control. Like I love it, man. Like I love my life the way that it is now. And, you know, I haven't had any struggles or any issues or anything like that. But again, when you put it out there like that, you know, we don't want to fail in front of people. That's one of the, like, just human nature. You don't want to fail in front of people. So you commit to it, you make it real, bring it outside of your head and actually make it real. You know, write it down places, like whatever you're going to see every day, you know, write down that I am going to be this weight on this date, and just start manifesting it, thinking about it. You know, thoughts become actions, actions turn thoughts into reality. Like it's just, it's an incredible thing. You know, it's something like my mentor I've had for the past like 2 years has just really, really helped, you know, transform me and what I do and the way that I look at things and approach things. Like anything is possible, you know. So
Dude,
make it real. Make it real.
The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step.
Yeah.
That's it. So to be able to, and you know, 6 months from now, I may be able to have once a week incorporate, I want to have a glass of wine with that steak or something. I'm going to do it. But at this point, going down, I am seeing such a dramatic change. I feel better. You know, I was out walking yesterday. It was 40 degrees out, and I'm in shorts. You know, I got a fleece on and a hat, but I walk with a big stick. You guys ever seen field hockey, girls field hockey?
Yeah.
Brutal, man. Those girls carry this big ass stick.
Yeah.
Looks like a hook, like you go out with sheep or something. And I wrapped it in reflective tape. So when I walk in the morning, if a car is coming, it lights up like a you know, reflective
Fucking
tape.
lightsaber.
Yeah, it's bright, right? But it's always a couple things. You know, I've used this thing I've had it since college. Some girl gave it to me and said, I got a new stick. And I'm like, oh, what do you do with the old one? Oh, I don't know, just hang on to it. And I said, I'd love to have one. She goes, yeah, great. I thought I'll carry that in my car and beat the snot out of somebody one day if I needed it. But the stick I've always had, and I've been attacked by a couple dogs, so it comes in handy. And I've actually had somebody texting on their phone while driving down, and I'm looking at him and I'm watching him come right at me on the road. And I'm thinking, surely this guy sees me. And I step off the road and I tapped his car with the stick.
Yeah. Take out that mirror,
the window.
dude.
No, I didn't take it. I just tapped it, which I saw the car swerve as he went past me. And then later on, the guy goes, hey, man, sorry about that. I'm like, yeah, just be more careful. There are people walking in the neighborhood.
Sorry about almost ending your life because I'm not paying attention.
My bad, man.
Apologies.
Yeah.
So,
but no, it's awesome. So get out there, do it. Take that first step. It's almost been a month for me not drinking. Well, except for New Year's, I had that glass of wine at dinner, but that's it, you know, and take that first step. So Scott Gibson was my first guest. You mentioned that. He was also my 100th guest.
Yeah.
And I met Scott at R.V. Bergen's funeral, who was in the Pacific. He was Bergie.
Yeah.
He was D.B. Sledge's platoon sergeant, mortar sergeant. When Scott came up to me, the funniest thing was he came up and said, hey, you really did a great job. I'm Scott Gibson. Nice to meet you. And I go, I'm thinking he's in the Marines. And I'm like, where do I know you from? East Coast? You know, Okinawa, the war? And he goes, no, I was never in the Marines. I'm like, boy, you look like somebody I know in the Marines. He goes, well, I played a Marine on TV. I'm like, that's what it was. And then fast forward, VJ Day, I was talking to Iwo Jima vet doing Facebook Live. It just come out. So I had my phone set up, and I'm talking on the phone, speaker on the phone, to a couple vets, and somebody said, "Hey, you ought to do a podcast." Didn't know what the hell a podcast was or how you would do one. But I called Scotty because I'm like, "Hey, this is perfect. It's VJ Day. He died in the Pacific. His character did. Let's talk about his character and how he played him." So he was my very first guest. Then Dale Dye was my second, and then Don Graves, who is an Iwo Jima vet. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Don's famous with the flamethrower. He was my third guest, and then just kind of went on from there. So interviewed grunts. As a matter of fact, you were talking about CIA. I just, out of the blue, my buddy calls me up and says, "Hey, dude, my backseater in the OV-10. You remember the OV-10 Bronco?" He goes, it was a twin engine observation airplane that the Marine Corps had. Then you could put some recon dudes in the back. They could parachute out the back. You know what I'm talking about?
No shit.
Oh, you never heard of the OV-10 Bronco?
Dude, bro, we're grunts, man. Like fucking.
Well, grunts love this thing because you could put 4 grunts back there and they could jump out the back and go parachute.
They weren't putting us in that thing for sure.
Oh yeah, well, the recon dudes would love it. So they put an infantry officer in the back seat after AO school, and they make him an aerial observer. So this guy Don Parnell was an aerial observer. He was a Marine infantry officer, 0302, became a company commander. He went and became an AO. And so he did that for 2 years, and then he got out and became Arlington Police Department here for 2 years, and then he got hired by the CIA as in the paramilitary branch, and so he did that for the rest of his career. And I did an episode with him, snow day, I think Friday, and then I did another episode with him. Yeah, it was Thursday, and then yesterday. So I'm going to air those the next Tuesday. His stories, it's like nobody's talked to him before. He hasn't written a book. He just got out of the CIA. He got his classification, whatever they call it, rollback, so he can talk about stuff. And
Right.
certain things he can talk about, certain things he can't. But he got hit with a 2,000-pound JDAM. The story is mind-boggling. This is the beginning parts of the war. He's in Afghanistan. He's got Karzai with him. And the JTAC had changed the batteries on the GPS thing that sends up the coordinates for the bomb to drop on.
Right.
And when he put in the new set of batteries, unbeknownst to him, it zeroes the GPS coordinates to your fucking position.
That's a fucking flaw in design.
Yeah. He didn't catch it. And they dropped a JDAM on them, a 2,000-pound JDAM on them and not the bad guys. And he survived that by the grace of God and Karzai. So incredible.
The grace of God and the grace of Karzai.
No, Karzai survived as well by the grace of God, not Allah. So because he was standing next to Don or working with Don out there. So it's kind of funny. We talk about spiritual things. I'm a spiritual person in heart. I'm not a devout. I'm going to beat you over the head with a Bible and make you read it. But I'll tell you a weird story that happened about 2 months ago. You got a minute?
Yeah.
I bought I had 2 turrets delivered for the GMV Hummers that we have. So they sit on top of the roof. The ring goes inside. The turret portion is being built, the cupola. And I'm on this guy's pickup truck. We're in my garage. We already removed one, and we sat it on a big box that has had a pallet jack that fits underneath it, so I can move it around. Because these things weigh about 800 pounds. They're heavy. And 3 of us were like struggling to get this thing out. Well, he had put this burlap material in between layers of steel, and it was folded over on the back of his pickup truck. So imagine the back of a pickup truck tailgate. I climb up on top because the turret ring is stuck, and I'm pulling, and when I pull, it gives way, and all of a sudden that burlap underneath me slides forward, and I fall off the back of the truck. So how high is the back of a tailgate? 2.5 feet? 3 feet up
Off the
I'd
ground.
say, yeah,
off
Yeah.
the
I'd say
ground.
about, yeah.
Yeah, maybe 3 feet max. And my feet slip forward towards the cab, right? My hands flail like that. And I fall completely back onto a concrete floor on my back. My head misses the square edge of that one steel plate by about 6 inches. My hand didn't hit it. I land on the floor. My head did not hit the floor. I didn't get knocked out, didn't have a little knob on the back or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm laying there, the realization I just fell off the truck. And my son, his eyes are about this big. Omar jumps off the truck, and he is down there. He's like, he was Army combat. He's just like, don't move. And he's starting to kind of feel me, and I'm moving my hands, fingers, I'm moving my toes. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm okay. And I gave him my hand. He pulled me up, and I dusted the crap off me. And I'm like, dude, how did that happen? And both of them are like, are you sure you're okay? And all day Jake's like, Dad, are you okay? And then later on, the realization hit me that I almost died, whether my head hit
Yeah.
the floor and I was dead. I
Yeah.
hit the floor, cracked my skull open. So how did I survive that? And here's, if you hit something really hard, you end up with a bruise, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get a broken elbow in the fall. I didn't get a bruise. I didn't get a bruise one on my back at all. So how did I completely fall onto a concrete floor and not hurt myself? I sat there for hours pondering the meaning of God in that moment because I thought, what is the meaning? Why I should be dead? I have a friend that just fell down the stairs, hauling a couch down his stairs, and he's in the hospital with a broken, femur. So I'm going, how did I survive this? What's the meaning of it? So, somebody was like, well, there's something meant for you down the road. Well, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to do the thing in my power to appreciate every day because
Yeah.
either I am dead and this is the next dimension, or there was a hand of my sister who died, or my best friend Steve who died. Somebody stuck a hand out and literally cushioned me to that fall because there's no explanation in my mind or theirs, my son or Omar, on how I survived this.
Yeah.
I
We
just don't know.
gotta and we gotta be careful though, man. We're getting older. We gotta be more mindful. I mean, I had this girl one time almost crack her head on the corner of a nightstand, but like you gotta watch out for those things, right? You can't be taking risks, can't be rolling the dice. Got to keep ourselves safe, man. Like I don't know, like I'm very mindful of the stuff. Knock on wood, man. I ain't got hurt in a long time, but like I'm always, just that hyper vigilance, like everything,
Yeah.
especially in Florida, like everything can kill you down here, man. Like
Florida.
you got to watch every step you take, every shit you make, buddy.
Yeah.
So,
Florida's the real GTA, the Grand Theft Auto game.
I just want to say also, Danny Smith, man, challenge accepted, bro. We hung out like last year. Like I'm sure you still fit in your blues. So not much of a challenge. Not much of a challenge on his end, dude. You remember Danny Smith? He was machine gunner.
Yeah,
then,
let me lose 2 pounds so I can fit in.
Yeah. He's like, hold on, let me not drink a glass of water today. All right, we're good. Fuck it. So, well, Taco, man, we're pumped. Glad that you came on. Love hearing the stories. Awesome stuff. We're pumped. We're motivated. Ready for 250. It's going to be 2025 is going to be a hell of a year, man.
Are you guys going to make it?
Anything.
Are you guys going to make it out? Maybe we get Scotty come down, Tracy come out. You guys going to come out for the 250th here, or are you guys going to stay there?
Let's discuss it, man. I don't really have any plans. I mean, I don't really. I know other Marines around here, like veteran Marines. I don't. Let's see what's going on. I mean, I do actually want to go to like a legit. If there's a legit Marine Corps ball,
yeah,
right. I mean, which though a lot of times like that might happen on a Saturday or the Saturday before, the Saturday after.
Yeah.
So as far as the actual birthday is concerned, yeah, I'm down.
Do you know last year, my wife and I was a guest of honor at Marine Corps Junior ROTC Ball. I'm telling you right now that those kids put on the best ball I've ever seen, and it was the most relaxed, fun, watching a bunch of kids in Marine Corps uniforms act like, private lance corporals, having a great time. That was the most fun I've ever had in my entire, I don't know how many, 38 years that I've been in the Marines.
Yeah.
That was the most fun. If you have a junior ROTC unit around you, tell them, hey, listen, I'd like to sponsor a couple $100. Can I go to the ball? And go and enjoy it. Really, truly was one of the best times I've ever had in my life. The kids coming up and talking to you and asking questions, and it was fun. I mean, going to a ball where you don't know anybody, you're around Marines. That's kind of fun. The enthusiasm those kids showed and the diligence they did for the pomp and circumstance of the cake,
Yeah.
and man, it made you proud because you go, that's the future of the Corps that's taken our spots.
Yeah.
That kid right there, that kid's going to be recon. That kid right there, he came up, hey, sir, I want to be a pilot like you. Awesome. Let's talk about that,
That kid over there in the corner, he's going to have 3 NGPs and be a terminal lance corporal.
He's going to be stealing the Hummer during the hurricane, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we appreciate you guys on this Saturday. Neil and I got to go clean up the mess because we're not going to go live with it, but we're bringing Tracy and Liberty on. We're going to be recording again here in a little bit to discuss the Liberty's nonprofit, what she does with kids, actually taking them to different battlefields and history, war, all of that stuff. So
I had her and one of her kids on the podcast. Awesome. I love Liberty. I've known her for years. Her and her sisters are incredible.
So
tell them I said hello, would you?
Will do. Yeah, I'll deliver the message. So
this was a lot of fun. Take care, brothers. Hoorah.
Yep.
Take care. See you in November. 250 and sexy, baby.
Yep. See you in November.
Right. All right. Hoorah. Out here.
Run taco.
Freddie Joe. There we go. That's how we end. I don't fuck saying anything else.
It's over. That's
Get back in your bit. That's it, man. Show's over. Guys, thanks. Semper Fi. Good night, Chesty. I'm going to end this right now. Get back in your bitch tits.